Hello everyone, I'm Yinan. I'm going to introduce the whole of my landscape design thesis. My concept is to create participative loop. To start with, we all know that camping is a popular outdoor lifestyle that with relatively short period of time. Although we live in the city in most of the time, we still believe in the benefits of getting back to nature for our physical and mental health. And for most of the users, communicating and interacting with familiar people in a comfortable natural environment can build a deep connection, both between people and nature and themselves. And for ecotourism itself, it is important to explore their unique characteristics and resources. And at the same time, because of climate change, it is essential to increase the possibility of applying the circular economy to the site. First, when we look at the larger scale in our sites, after some investigation, I find it is possible to keep encouraging short walk, and make it creative for all groups of users. And apart from this, we also learn from the unique geology character. It gives us an opportunity to cultivate biodiversity through the rich plant community and make the trip more like an immersed bushwalking. And we can see that the existing site already has 18 campsites. It can be summarized that the user's experience on existing sites is relatively weak. It still shows a traditional sense of ecotourism, which is not quite able to meet the needs of future visitors. And because people tend to prefer personalized and diverse experience, and our goal is to create an ecotourism destination, it is important to let the unique opportunity of the sites continue to develop. Actually, we can see that the rainwater tends to gather in the orange area, so I would like to create a series of swells to gather the rainwater, and also try to use the slope to make a viewing platform to create entrance corridor leading to our site. This step is to show whether existing condition could reach the requirements for generating energy or human comfort. We can see that low temperature encourage us to generate facilities to provide heat and provide clean energy for cooking pots and collect rainwater for future use. And some of the sections also shows the potential to create buffer zone to protect the campsites from the water runoff and which kind of inspirations we can get from the existing condition. Actually, the existing road network and riparian vegetation along the creek provide excellent routes for exploration. And my exploration starting from the cooking, because it is a quite common activity that can be seen in the campsite. You can see that I did a simple experiment about energy efficient cooking. I used the multifunctional pot to save extra water vapor, and I tried to calculate how much amount of footprint can be reduced through my practice. And then I start to add some traditional practice to save more carbon footprint, such as utilize garbage enzyme and heatable brick bed into my kitchen, and let them to form a circular economy for sustainable water using and organic nutrients and a warmer dining area in cold weather. And after exploring site opportunities and get inspirations in circular economy, I decided to build an energy efficient systems and generate my concept. It is to create participative loop. And this part shows my focus in three parts, including green infrastructure, interactive adventure, and thermal comfort. My further vision is to build sustainable loop, trigger human engagement to get to know more about passive energy. I also pay attention to improve the comfortable level for campers. And after that, it is also the responding of a beautiful Taronga word, Bungunga, which means gather and collect. And this is my design rationale. After these steps, I start to attach the relationship with the surroundings, regard the geological characters as treasure, and generate the green infrastructure based on the current ecological community and expand its strengths. So I developed final master plan, and it is from the existing track and potential ecological patches. Use the road system to connect different activity hotspots. Actually, I followed the principle of minimal intervention. If we enter from the timber gallery, then we can go first through the wetland, the ceremonial area, and the bird observation, and finally go back to our campsite loop. It will become a hub for campers and recognize its unique context in King Lake National Park and create new established relationship between campers and resources. And all in all sites shift its position from a simple camping tour to an ideal destination with immersive experience and participation activities. And I will show the functional arrangements and details later. And because all main visitors are campers, so I would like to first show the main type of campsites. The first is for hikers who would like to walk in and have a temporary rest. The second is called serene camping. This is for less than 2 people to have their private space. The third one is hassle-free glamping. A composing toilet and wood-fire bathtub is added to give the campers cozy days. And the final type is ultimate glamping. It is served with gas heater and cooking station, much more environmental friendly than the former three. One important part is to show how the resources in the campsite works. The rainwater runs down the hills, are collected in a series of ponds, can be transferred to the underground water tank. We can see that in the right-hand side, the spiral mantle pipe replaced the previous one. When people light the recycled timber in the fire pit, the collected water could be heated. This can form an effective physical loop, both for the hot tub and the tent. And the volunteers and the governors can collect recycled timber for the fire pit and provide the users with small gas tank. And after the campers come to the site, they will operate the wood-fire hot tub, a bathtub, and use timber or gas to cook, and other kind of heat-related process by themselves. They can also turn on the switch and drain the used water into the pipe, and let them finally go into the island creek. So after showing the operation mode, we can try to imagine we are currently camping and go through with the narrative. Ecological patches are the main focus in green infrastructure. Resilient and sustainable loop can be seen from the view from the east planting slope, and the rainwater first falls into the swales, temporarily bestowed and used by campers. New grass strips are added between 2 adjacent campsites to protect them. And because most of the water will go into the island creek, I used a combination of branch and rocks to decrease the riverbank erosion. Continue to follow Island Creek. There are a series of amazing interactive adventures. If we enter from the entrance gallery, a constructed swales can be seen immediately, and biodiversity will be cultivated, and people could learn more about these micro ecosystems and how the input flows and what the biodiversity dam means to water. There is also a burnt tree trunk along the creek. I try to keep it concise because it can educate people a lot with bushfire. A small platform in it for meditating just fits. And after these adventures, we go back to the campsite to feel the upgraded comfortable level. In summer, the visitors could go up hills to rest in tiny treetop village. And when the weather gets cold, people who would like to communicate with others will go to the shared kitchen to enjoy the heating and talking. And this is the detailed plan for the kitchen. It sits in the middle of several tracks and is quite convenient to join in. A planting strip from the middle of the campsite connected with a huge log, and there is a pipe connected it with the east campsite. A huge log transports non-potable water to the users, and the users could light the fire pit and let the water be heated in circular loop. New friends could sit on the recycled timber. For the campsite and adventure facilities, I sorted them into 3 phases. And calculating embodied energy is also meaningful to show what did the resources and circular economy mean to the climate change. Actually, one group of campers tend to use 1 bottles of wood or 7 hours gas. Their difference really means the carbon dioxide, which is also absorbed by half of the tree. The last detail I want to present is the scenery that can be seen from the entrance gallery. The diagrams on the right shows ecological education and education value about this area. We use recycled timber to build new structures and light fire when there is cold or will be a festival. To better help us get experience from this entrance, I list 3 types of visitors: hikers, experienced campers, and regular campers. I use these maps to show which roads they are more likely to have interest in. So let's start with the view of regular campers. If we park our car and go through the entrance, we will first get into the dense tree canopy. Before we go to see the water stream in ceremonial area, we can temporarily stay in the in-framed gallery. And after we go downstairs, our challenge track will start, such as enjoy the adventures through the steep track and paving into the burnt tree trunk and stay in the riverside picnic area. And finally, we use gas heater or wood fire pit to warm ourselves, go to shared kitchen to communicate and participate in activities. So that is. Thanks for your listening.